What is going on, guys? It's Justin from Push and Profit. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 3 stocks to trade this week. Now, I haven't done one of these in a while, but I do know that you guys do appreciate when I do these videos. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, before we get started, I do want to kind of provide this disclosure that you should never trade based off anyone else's opinion, right? You should only trade whatever you see value in. So if there's any stocks that I, talk about and you do see the value in that position and you see the opportunity, then go ahead and take it. But on this channel, I don't want to like spoon feed people. We're trying to empower individuals to identify opportunities. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first stock that I want to talk about, and let's go ahead and go to the chart to talk about it, is Tesla, right? Now, Tesla has made a phenomenal run up. We do see that it did kind of have this little few red candles, on Friday. But let's go ahead and talk about this, right? Now, in order to talk about this, the first thing I want to mention is this tweet over here, right? Now, this is a tweet by Elon that was made November 6th, and it says, "Much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance, so I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do you support this?" And we see that the poll says 57% saying yes. And then underneath that tweet, we have Elon, replying, "I will abide by the results of this poll, whichever way it goes." Now, one thing I want to say is, of course, we're going to go ahead and look at the technical aspect of the stock. So we're going to go back on the chart and not just only focus on the tweet. But I do want to provide some context for this tweet, right? So recently from the left side, right, the leftists, and I try to stay as bipartisan as I can on this channel, or I 100% try to. They have proposed this idea of this billionaire tax idea, right? Where they say that a lot of billionaires avoid taxes through means of assets like stocks, where they're avoiding capital gains, right? And so just to kind of explain that, and let's say you buy a stock at $100 and that stock eventually goes to $1,000. If you held that stock and you never sold it, then you would not pay taxes on that because it's an unrealized gain. It's just paper money. Because if that stock goes from 100 to 1,000, but then it goes back to like 200, of course why would you pay taxes on something that is not finalized, right? However, the left side has mentioned that this is a way where a lot of billionaires have been avoiding taxes, as this is their biggest asset and how they acquire wealth. And so there's been this idea where billionaires, of course there's certain thresholds where it's like a certain amount, and it's only billionaires with avoiding taxes with capital gains. But I'm not gonna go too deep on that. But that's just kind of the context behind this. And so Elon Musk, with this tweet, is saying, hey, I'm not trying to avoid capital gains. I will sell 10% if you believe that I should sell 10%. Now, I think this is a smart plan that Elon is doing, but we'll go ahead and talk about that. So let's go ahead and go back to the charts real quick, right? Now, Tesla, like I said, has made a phenomenal run. And recently, Elon actually tweeted, after Hertz, mentioned about, buying electric cars, Elon did tweet while I was running up, kind of implying that the stock is overvalued, saying, hey, I'm not sure if this is running up because the Hertz deal has not been finalized. And of course, that did bring the stock down. And so, we see that Elon Musk does see that the stock is overvalued. And my theory, of course, this is just a theory. We're going to go back onto the charts to talk about, price action and everything. I do want to deviate a little. We talked about the tweet. Now let's talk about my theory. Just yesterday, if you look into the inside trading, we see that Elon Musk's brother already sold millions of dollars worth of Tesla stock, right? Now, Tesla has recently made that tweet about the Hertz comment. In my theory, I believe that Elon Musk does believe that Tesla is overvalued. And one of the best ways that he could probably get rid of the stock without seeming so terrible, like, oh man, he's selling out, he's not diamond handing or anything like that, is by making that tweet where he mentioned, hey, I'm not avoiding taxes. Should I sell this? Because he knows that the majority of individuals are going to say yes, sell, right? So smart if that's initially what he's doing. Again, just a complete theory, but I want to go back on tangent and I want to go back to the charts, right? So again, like I said, we are pretty much like doing phenomenally well on Tesla, but I want to show you guys something. Now, you guys see that we're looking at the Webull platform. That's the platform that I trade on currently. But previously, I've used several different brokerages, which of one of them includes also the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, right? So we're gonna go ahead and hop onto that platform real quick. And the reason I bring you to this platform is only because, unfortunately, the Weibo platform does not allow you to have, or does not allow linear regression channels. The minute it has that, then I'll make a video and let you guys know. But I made a video talking about linear regression channels, exactly what they are. But they're these orange lines you see on the chart right over here, right? Now, they act as supports and resistances. Now, of course, Tesla stock is way above the 200 and or I'm sorry, on TD Ameritrade I have it as the 180-day simple moving average. They are kind of, if we zoom in, falling slightly below the 9-day exponential moving average. However, these linear regression channels, they hold really well. They're like a statistical measure on what's going on. And it looks like they hit this area of resistance, and they may start, it's overvalued when it comes to this point. Now, does that mean it can't go up? Absolutely not. When it comes down to technical analysis, previous patterns don't 100% guarantee the future. Just something that we look on to measure whether or not we should take the opportunity. And of course, with the combination of this kind of seeming like it's overvalued, it looks like it's hitting this area of resistance, along with that tweet of Elon Musk, I would say it would be a good time to short the stock, right? Now, if you're not, familiar with shorting the stock, you could definitely watch a ton of other videos on shorting the stock. You could also buy puts on the stock, which is probably the way that I'm going to do it. This way I can limit my risk and, obviously just have a certain amount that I know I'm willing to, put in that position. But let's go ahead and switch it back to the Weibo platform. I know you guys don't like the TD Ameritrade platform, so let me go ahead and switch that back. So now that we're here, I just wanted to mention that, and the reason is because, it's very important to look at the linear regression channels. Unfortunately, Weibo does not use it, but I did switch to Weibo simply because you guys like the layout of the Weibo platform, which, by the way, if you want to use Weibo to trade, I do have a link in the description so to sign up with them. But over here, let's go ahead and go back to the website over here. And it says, as of February, Musk held 227 million Tesla shares, according to SEC filing, amounting to 22% or 22.4% of his stock. 10% of his stake would be worth roughly 27.8 billion at Friday's closing price. So, that's a big amount that we're talking about if Elon were to sell Tesla, which is why, if we're approaching these areas of being overvalued, right? We're approaching these areas where, even the RSI is showing that it's, overextended, and we had this major run up. It's most likely healthy to see a pullback. But when you add the catalyst of Elon selling a large amount of Tesla stock, that could be seen as a huge pullback for the stock. And it might be a good opportunity to, make some profits with obviously shorting the stock. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is going to the earnings. Now, right here we have the earnings for the week. I'm sorry that I'm covering some of the earnings over here. I'm really just covering Lemonade, Smile, and a few other companies that are not that important in my eyes. But we have a lot loaded for this upcoming week. And one of the stocks that I'm really looking into to buy, I know Tesla, I was mentioning it as a short, but I know some individuals that watch this channel, they don't like buying puts. They don't like shorting the stock, and that's fine. There's opportunity everywhere, so we're going to go ahead and talk about a few other stocks. But next we have Affirm, right? Now, this is a stock that I've been trading religiously, almost. I've been trading it for the past 3 months, and if you guys have been watching my videos, you might have been sick and tired of me talking about Affirm. Affirm was actually one of the stocks where I had one of my biggest days. I believe it was in October, where I made almost $6,000 in one day trading Affirm. And you could see why it's been easy to make a profit off of Affirm. We see how much it's running up, or has ran up. And one of the things I do want to identify here is that Affirm has really showed itself performing in a pretty much identical cup and handle pattern, right? Now, if you're not familiar with a cup and handle pattern, let me go ahead and show you guys that real quick. So right here, you can simply just Google cup and handle pattern, and you see basically we have this cup, we have this handle, and then we skyrocket up, and that's pretty much a bullish pattern. And if we go back to the charts, we see that it's pretty much followed this identical pattern. We see the cup, we see the handle, and then we have risen up. Now, one thing that I do want to provide caution to is, yeah, we do have the earnings coming up, and the thing about a firm is it's a buy now pay later company, right? And we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we have the winter holidays coming up where individuals are going to want to spend more. So that's one thing that we're having coming up, as well as the earnings. But on top of that, with the labor shortages, the supply chain shortages, a lot of companies have mentioned that they're not going to be doing excessive deals that they've done in the past during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the winter holidays. And in fact, it's not going to be a competition of who could get the better price, but who actually has the product. And so prices are still going to remain high for a lot of retail items. Think about buying a PlayStation or a TV, and things like of that nature. They're not going to be as cheap as they have been in the past with the deals, right? And so with that idea, we also have the idea that individuals may look more towards buy now pay later companies such as this firm, where they're breaking down the price. We're in this still pandemic type of era. So that's just one thing. Of course, that's just a theory of what's going on economically. But I know a lot of individuals that watch my channel, we like to stick to the charts, and so we're above this area of the exponential moving average, right, or just the moving average. And or this would really just be like a simple moving average. We have this above this area of support. And one thing that I do want to take a look into is what the analysts are saying. Now, this is something that also kind of worries me, right? I like when a stock is, slightly below the average, as far as what the analysts are projecting. But we're pretty much close to the high end, right? Analysts, on the high end are predicting or projecting $183 per share, and we're currently at 164. Before we were actually at 168 before we sold off a little on Friday. But as far as what the ratings are, a lot of analysts are not saying to sell or hold. Now, I do say we have to look at this with a grain of salt because there's a conflict of interest with analysts and investing banking. But that's just one thing I wanted to show you guys. And another thing that I want to show you guys, which is also quite concerning, is really the total insider trading volume by quarter for a firm. And we see that there's been a lot of selling recently going on with a firm. Now, this can just simply be a normal thing to look at, especially if a firm has been, look at how much a firm has ran up. Let's go ahead and, if we go from the bottom of this, pretty much the absolute bottom, if I could just draw it out and go to the top, 248%, right? It's been a massive run up, which is why I've been trading this very often. But it makes sense that a lot of insiders would want to lock in profits. So that's just something to be cautious on. We do have the earnings, we do have the insiders selling, but overall, from the technical aspect, it is bullish. The trend has not been broken. I would be worried if we did break this average over here, this moving average, or below this area of 152. But as of now, the trend is in our favor. And as I like to say, or just a common quote in the market is, the trend is your friend to the very end until it bends, right? So that's where we are at with a firm. And the last thing that I want to take a look at really is ticker symbol AAPL, which is Apple. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Apple. And, I want to take a look into this. So Apple, we see that we have a bunch of these red lines. These are like my old and supports and resistances because on the Weibo platform now I draw them with a much skinnier blue line, simply just because I like to keep things less congested. I have a video talking about how it makes it easier to, look at the charts like that. It's more aesthetically pleasing. However, these are my old supports and resistances. And we see that Apple currently is, above the, exponential moving average. It's of course above the 200-day simple moving average. And we are hovering above this area of this support, which used to be a resistance. Right now, the trend is your friend to the very end, and it looks like we're still in this uptrend. No signs of it being broken. And we have the infrastructure plan being rolled out. Apple is becoming a leader in 5G. And I don't think that they're, going anywhere. Of course, during September, we sold off heavily. But I think after this, from this point on, we're going to start seeing much more of a bullish uptrend. So this is another bullish stock that you don't have to short, that you can actually just buy or buy calls on. But again, only if you see value in it, right? At the end of the day, I would never buy a stock simply just because my favorite YouTuber mentioned it. I would have to agree with his analysis. And, right now, I'm just saying, we did make a healthy pullback with Apple. Because, of course, pullbacks are good. Once in a while, we do need a stock to kind of pull back. This way we could continue moving forward, right? It'd be very bad if stock just continuously went up, which is why I do want to bring cautious to the firm play, right? But again, we do have the earnings coming up on that. But Apple looks like it's on this upward trend. And I mean, come on, this is Apple. Look at the monthly view overall. We could look at the yearly view over like the last decade. I mean, we had a recent pullback in September, and it looks like we're bouncing back up and we're holding above these levels. So, we really just have to see what happens. Of course, if this breaks below this area of $149, then I probably, would be a little skeptical that the trend is broken, right? But as of now, the trend is not yet broken. Now, if you guys want to learn more about technical analysis, make sure to check the first link in the description, because I do have another video just talking about technical analysis. So make sure to check out that first link. It's very important. And before I go, guys, make sure to, if you don't click the first link, watch this next video right over here. And with that being said, guys, hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys on the next video.